fished out section. We've got our burner started, but what I want to do is build this grate. You might be tempted to build it like right here on the surface. The trouble with that, of course, is that this is a live surface. If I were to grab that, I could build it right there. It would be part of the surface. So what I'm actually going to do is come over here and build it on the ground. It's just a little bit simpler. I can scale it later on if I need to. So I'm going to just draw another circle. I'm going to put a circle inside that. It just gives me a chance to click right there on the centerpiece there. Grab that center hole, cut it out, and now I've got a surface here that I can pull up and make into that kind of ring that we want to put on there. I'm going to grab both of those guys and make that a group, because I don't want, when I put my other parts on there, I don't want them to interfere with it. So now I've got that going. I'm happy with that. I think the easiest way to draw this from now is going to be to change camera, turn on parallel projection, turn on standard views top. Now I can really see what I'm doing exactly right there. I'm just going to draw a rectangle. Let's put it, see what I want to do is I want to line up right about there. I'm kind of eyeballing this, as you can see. I'm going to put it right about there. Sure, why not? Now I'm going to push-pull, and I'm going to have to orbit a little bit because I want to get some depth to this thing. But you can see I'm drawing that right underneath. Push-pull and pull that up so that it's now kind of like part of the burner. Sits up just a little bit higher than that, right? I'm going to zoom in a little bit, orbit around so we can see this end of it. And then what I'm going to do is use my selection tool, double click the end of that, and get my scale tool and shrink this from the center. Option click. Here we are. And just make that a little bit smaller. I could mess around with this quite a bit, as you can imagine, because we could put, we could make that sort of rounded in there. You know how to make it rounded because we did that on the sink. But mainly what I want to just show you is how easy it is to rotate this thing once you've got something like that built. So let's pretend I'm happy. I'm going to grab the, just touch the space bar to make that thing into a bit. I'm going to make this a component. Control click on that, make me a component. It's the burner edge or the burner lip. Don't give me any lip. Listen, you. And now what I want to do is rotate that around that. So I've got my rotate tool right there, also up here. Where are you? There you are. And again, if I just go over to the side of a circle and sit on it for a second, it says, here's the center. Did you want to find the center? There it is right there. So I can click there and hold down my option key. So I click, and then you see if I hold down option, it adds that little plus sign. That's what I want to see. So I pull out, and now I click again and rotate 180 degrees to that spot. Now I'm going to grab both of those, click, shift click to grab the other two, get my move tool again, or my rotate tool, sorry, again, click there, again, make sure I've got my option key, and rotate 180 degrees that way. Okay, so that's part of it. Now what I want to do is grab this one. I'm going to do the same thing, kind of, because it's smaller ones, right? When we go back and look at this, they're short ones every 45 degrees. So I need another one of these things at 45 degrees, but smaller. So again, I go to my center point, make sure my option key is clicked, so I make a new one. Go that way, watch my radius, 45, it kind of snaps to that spot. Now I'm going to zoom in here, get my scale tool, and just shrink that. I want to make sure, by the way, make sure you grab the right one. You see there are 3 buttons lined up there. This one will shrink the top, this one shrinks the bottom, this one will shrink the whole thing lengthwise. So make sure you got the right button that you select right there. Now, as you can imagine, what I'm going to do is grab my rotate tool, make sure to come back to my center point here, option click to make a new one, come out here and rotate 90 to get that one, 90 for that one, and then I want to grab both of those two. Shift click to get that two. Back to my rotate tool, snap there, pull out, make sure I've got option clicked, and drag two more out that are at 90 there. So now I've got my burner built. I've got all the pieces that I want. I'm just going to grab the whole thing, make a group out of it so I don't mess with my pieces and lose them and whatever. Okay, now what I want to do is go back to standard views. Let's turn perspective back on again. Whoa. And orbit down to the point where I can kind of see what I'm doing. So we've left our burner on the ground, and it looks like it's too big, which is fine. So I'm going to grab the whole thing. Our group, I guess I didn't group it properly here. Here we go. Make me a group. Okay, now what I want to do is grab that. I'm going to move it on the blue axis only, up about 3 feet. 3 feet. And then I want to move it on the green, the red axis until I'm sitting about where I want to be. And then I can use my scale tool to shrink the whole thing and make it fit properly into where I want that to go. So you can kind of see how that's going to work. It looks like it's going to work out pretty well. I'm kind of pleased with that. So that's basically the process for how you would go about making a gas burner. I hope you had some fun with that thing. It's kind of a cool trick. I will talk to you more later. If you think, hey, Tom, can you make me a video on how to do this other thing? I'd be happy to. See ya.